Hey everybody, this is PigRigged, and I'm playing the mighty quest for epic loot. It's currently an open beta, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It is made by Ubisoft Montreal, but nobody's perfect. The game is an interesting blend, I think, of sort of a tower defense kind of The Sims type setup, where you can build your own dungeon, and put monsters in it, and traps and shit. And then other players have to try and invade your dungeon and get your treasure. While your dungeon's not being invaded, you start accumulating treasure over time. So even while you're offline, you're getting stuff. But it encourages you to make good dungeons that people don't come in and rob everything that you've made over time. The other side of the coin is that it's, well, since I'm building a dungeon and people are invaded it, I can go off and invade other people's dungeons. Which is mostly what I'm doing right now. My dungeon's not the best, but I'm mostly focused on leveling up, getting more traps, and so on and so forth. So I'm looking for more dungeons to raid here. And again, most of these are, in fact, player-made dungeons. These are almost all screen names of people whose dungeons these are. So I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna wreck some stuff. I run a fighter, which is pretty typical for me. I really enjoy them. My only hang-up is how few moves that I have access to at a time. Because I can use only like 3, but I've got a wide variety of moves that are all really fun. Again, all of these monsters, good lord, all of these monsters are put in place by the player that designed this dungeon. All of these rooms, he chose which size rooms, what shape of rooms, where to put the rooms. Everything is player generated. You can even research specifications for different monsters if you want archers that shoot 3 arrows at a time, or monsters that go for headshots, or whatever. Yeah. So overall, it's a really fun game. Right now I'm kind of going for a DPS with physical attacks type of build. I've got a dash through charge, that one right there, which is one of my favorite moves in pretty much any game that gives it to me. I always love any move that just sends me barreling headlong into combat. Other than that, I've got this little fireball thing you see spinning around me there. Pretty fond of it. And it just does damage over time. Like anybody who runs into the fireball takes damage. And then I've got a secondary move, which lights my weapon on fire so that I do more damage. I had a move earlier that was a punt. I could punt enemies into one another, and it would do more damage depending on how many enemies I hit that way. And it was fun, but I'm trying to like focus down and get a general theme going here. So yeah, it's very Diablo-like, or Path of Exile, or Torchlight, or whatever your cup of tea happens to be. I'd like to see multiplayer. Like, I'd like to pick up with friends, and just a side note, whenever your dungeon gets raided, they put up a shield for, I think it's like 2 hours or so, around your treasure so more people can't raid it, which is why you're seeing these shields here. The downside is that with the game as jumping as this one is, pretty much every castle you run into is going to have shielded treasure. Very rarely, it's a delightful treat whenever you find treasure that's not actively guarded. You do get quite a bit of resources even for guarded treasures. Yes. Basic loot system, everything's very, like I said, very Diablo. I would like to see a more conventional multiplayer. I'd like to be able to team up with a friend to invade people's dungeons, or maybe team build castles, or something, I don't know. Any number of things.
Hey, Castle, you are so not ready for this.
Currently, the only multiplayer feature is the invasion of castles. And you can friend list people, and there's bonuses for invading the castles of friends and whatnot. But at present, that's about as far as the multiplayer extends. Yeah, see, somewhere in there they've got a healer. There we go, there's a couple of them. Gotta try and track him down before I try to make too much headway. I like it when the monsters just take off like that. Like everybody's trying to spread out and disperse and generally make things inconvenient for me. 'Cause I'm a murdering fool. And there's a timer. I don't know if you noticed that in the upper right hand corner there. But there is a timer, and in order to get full credit, for the dungeon, I have to do it in the amount of time. There's 3 stars that can be earned in each dungeon. One is for destroying both of your enemies' mine shafts, because there's a life force mine and a gold mine, which have similar effects in my own dungeon. Like my mine, I've got a gold mine that gives me gold over time, and a life force mine that gives me life force over time. Gold is mostly for buying parts, life force is for buying monsters. You summon them via a summon portal, tells you need life force. But if I destroy both of my opponent's mines, I get a star. If I beat the dungeon in the time limit, I get a star. And lastly, if I beat the dungeon without dying, then I get the 3rd star. So to 3-star it, well, there's quite a bit of effort involved. As you can see, I've already pretty well botched the time limit, but I can still get the no death bonus in the mines. This is what these look like. Here's the gold mine, which I'm going to tear apart right now. See, it spills gold everywhere. Usually not much. Often traps are baited with more gold than that, but I mean, it's there. I'll take it. And then the life force mine, so yeah, I just got a star for doing all that. And then whenever I kick this door in, take the treasure, or don't take the treasure, because it's shielded. I'll get the 2nd star for not dying, but I didn't get the star for the time limit. Yeah, I'll give it a 4. And it all comes down to that dungeon design. Like, if you can build a solid dungeon, you can stall people out long enough, or hide your mines well enough. That's actually really good. Hide your shit good enough to not have it found. That's also really good. These are all really good. Yeah, I'm normally not a big fan of the Diablo likes. I played Marvel Heroes for a little while. But I like how simplistic it is. I mean, not simplistic, it's probably a bad word. It sounds bad. It's yeah, actually, let's go with that. It's casual. I'm a casual player of these games. There I said it, it's a dirty word, I know. But it's all fast. Like, I don't gotta run to the shop, I ain't gotta so on and so forth. It's just right there. If I want to buy potions, I buy potions right here. Blacksmith right here. I just pick up and I go. I ain't gotta look for nothing, I just run off, hit a dungeon. Do whatever I gotta do, man. Whenever I need to pick up the gold and shit that my dungeon's picking up, I just go to my dungeon, I hit the mine, hit the life force mine, you can see the bar increasing in the corner, and yeah, defend for castle, attack for attacking other people's castles. Like, it's very streamlined. Actually, that's a more appropriate way to put it, I think. It's very streamlined. It's very get up and go. There's not a lot of bullshitting around. There is early in the game. It's probably got the longest tutorial I've ever seen in my life outside of a Kingdom Hearts game, but the game itself is very smooth. It's very polished. I say that, a lot of people apparently have problems with bugs. I've yet to run into one. So polished is probably not the right word either, but just as far as the way it goes, the flow of it, there's definite flow. You can just go and you can reach cutoff points pretty quickly if you need to go somewhere, if you got shit to do that day. You can run a couple dungeons and be done with it. Or you can go all night and spend 30 hours building a dungeon, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing after I level up next and start getting some more shit. But yeah, I like how fast it is, how quick things happen. I mean, shit just gets on the screen, it gets off the screen, you're done, and that's it. Again, the social aspect I think could use a little work. I mean, it's nice that I can explore a friend's dungeon, or he can go after mine, or whatever. And that it does encourage that, but it feels very Facebook gamey. I know I was just praising how casual it feels, but I don't want it that casual. It does feel a lot like a Facebook game in that regard. So this dude was still in the room, so I had to kill him before I could get through the door there. So I almost made the time on that one. I damn near made it. Yeah, I wish the multiplayer had a little more bite to it. But for right now, it ain't bad. Like, I do enjoy it, though. It is a very fun game. I will definitely give it that. It is very fun. Which is really all I ask for. That not bugging out. Thank goodness it has not done that to me. Yet. Everything else has just been delightful. I mean, I like the fighter is fun to play, which is always a big sticking point for me in games like this, because usually you play a fighter, and the fighter fights, and that's pretty much it. And he gets bonuses to health, he gets bonuses to defense, And that's all you really get. Whereas he's got this charge thing, the punch was really fun whenever I was using it. I like the variety of it. I like that I get, even at a low level, because I'm only level 8. I've barely gotten started. I'm only in like the second tier of castle stuff, and I've barely gotten into the actual dungeon part, or dungeon building part. But I've still got a lot of variety as far as my character is concerned. There's a lot of different ways I can play already. And typically you don't get that sort of variety. Normally variety comes in numbers in these games. Good lord. It's a lot of chickens. Normally variety comes in the numbers and not in the style of gameplay. Whereas I can be a really mobile fighter, or I can be a really staunch, messing stuff up fighter. So I guess he's healing or he's defending the healer, so I need to take out the defender first. There we go. Yeah. Also, the way monster setups are really interesting. Because I'll see stuff in dungeons and think to myself, I need to do that, or I should try that. That actually works really well. And I'll get ideas from my dungeon, from other people's dungeons. And I know that anything I see in these dungeons, it's all quote-unquote fair, because it's all shit that I could do if I wanted to. Like, if something works, it works, and there ain't no harm in borrowing it, per se. I've already been loaned, quote-unquote, a couple trap setups that I like a bunch. And whenever I get enough money to really sit down and really work on my dungeon. Once I get enough levels, put a few more rooms in it, too. I've got some really goofy-ass ideas that I'm gonna try to implement. I didn't get all the mines, did I? No, there we go. Damn, if I'd have done that during the battle, I probably could have, made the time on this one. So I was real close. I was real close again. A lot of my not getting 3 stars is attributed to my own sloppiness. You know what? I kind of had fun with that one. Let's give it a 5. I didn't, I'm not the most efficient man in the world, in terms of pretty much anything. Yeah, so I tend to be a little sloppy in my fighting style. That's why the fighter works for me so well, I think, because I don't really pay attention to my health a lot. I get hit quite a bit. So it's probably for the best that I have a lot of health to make up for it. I'll probably do one more dungeon, and then call it a day. I really just wanted to show the game off. I can do more videos if people are into that. Maybe show off the dungeon crafting a little bit more. Right now, I just really wanted to promote this, though. I mean, it's very solid. It is free to play. I should bring that up. You can pay for cosmetic stuff, and there is one character class currently that you can pay for. But from what I can tell, the other pay-for aspects are very limited. Everything's cosmetic. You can buy funny hats, you can buy new styles for your dungeon, but I've yet to just be stopped and be like, have the game tell me that I don't get access to something because I didn't pay for it. Aside from the one class, I don't think I haven't seen any traps or monsters. And there might very well be later in the game, but so far I've not seen any promotion for monsters or traps or anything bought with real money. You can probably buy experience boosters and whatnot with RL money, but those things I never really saw as pay to win per se. It's not like everybody else is getting an advantage of me in a one-on-one contest. They're just getting to the higher places faster than I am, which a lot of free time can do that for you, so it don't really matter that much in my opinion. Yeah, it's just me though. I know other people probably disagree on that. But as far as like weapons or traps, or you can't buy extra dungeon rooms or nothing like that. Everything is sweat of the brow type stuff. And the one class that you do have to pay for with real money, it looked alright. I mean, it looked kind of fun, but it wasn't really my cup of tea, so I'm not even really all that excited about that. I'd say the pay-to-win aspects are pretty limited. Everything's on the up and up. From what I understand, it used to not be that way. Apparently, it used to be much heavier on the pay side, but they've changed it quite a bit since before I got to it, since open beta started. I actually made the timer on that one. Hell yeah! 3-star this motherfucker. But yeah, it's free to play. By all means. My screen name is PigRigged. And if you can't find out how it's spelled, then I'm sorry. You're not very good at YouTube. None of this is very good equipment. Actually, that's kind of neat. Yeah, you know what? For the gold, I'll do it. But yeah, everything else is level locked, it looks like. Like I said, I think there's some experience boost. Yeah, gold, life force, experience, and doubles your chance of looting higher quality items. Which I don't know what the base quality is, so I don't know what double the quality is. But yeah, that's about the extent of it, I think. Like I said, there is this character, the Runaway, who is, you gotta buy with real money, I think. And once you've purchased a regular character, I think you can buy other characters also with money. But like, if you've got a character and you like that character, then it don't really matter. Everything else is pretty subdued. It's all free to play. It's all fun. It's in open beta. You can get it on Steam, and I highly recommend it. Like I said, I'll make more videos if people are into this, but right now I'm just wanting to hype it up a little bit. So yeah, this is PigRigged, and I'll see you guys later.